Welcome back to the Chasing Happiness podcast, an honest podcast about finding happiness, what it really means, and the process of getting there. My name is Crystal, and today we're going to talk about 5 minutes, which I know sounds like a silly topic for a podcast, but bear with me, because what I hear a lot from people who get in touch with me, whether it's because of this podcast or whether it's because they read the blog or they follow me on Instagram, I hear from people a lot that they just don't have the time to devote to their own personal self-care. They don't have the time to invest in the things that they love doing. So my question for you today is, what are you doing with your time? Because the truth is, we all have the same 24 hours in a course of a day. And granted, sure, most of us sleep for around 8 hours, and maybe we work for about 8 hours. So you're looking at about 16 hours, maybe 17 or 18, depending on who you are, where you aren't actually available to do things. But what are you doing with the rest of your time? Do you spend 2 or 3 hours a day watching television at night after you get home from work? Do you spend an hour playing with your kids? And where do your priorities lie? So I'm not saying you have to stop playing with your kids. If you play with your kids for an hour when you get home from work, that's a great investment in your time. And that's also an investment in your self-care because you enjoy spending time with your kids. But if you are coming home from work, cooking dinner, and then sitting down and playing on social media and watching TV for 2 or 3 hours, how is that an investment in your time? How is that serving you? And I know it's really scary for a lot of people to think, well, I can't sit down and watch my favorite programs after work because I have to invest in my own self-care. And I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is take stock of where you are spending your time, because I bet you can find 5 minutes a day to devote to yourself. Whether that's 5 minutes doing your skincare in the morning before your kids get up, whether that's 5 minutes before bed reading a book, you can probably find 5 minutes to devote to your own personal wants and needs, because everyone has time. You just have to decide what things are a priority for your time and what things aren't. So one of the things I did years ago was cut out the amount of television I was watching. I was on average watching about 4 hours of TV a day, which is craziness now when I think about it and when I talk about it. But at the time seemed perfectly normal for me. But that 4 hours I can now spend reading, meditating, doing yoga, going out with friends, all things that are investment in my own well-being, my emotional and physical and mental health, but also things that allow me to invest in the life that I want. So for this week, I want you to think about, where can you find 5 minutes? Where can you devote just a little bit extra to you, to the things that matter to you? Maybe it's 5 minutes at the end of the day after you put the kids in bed, but before your favorite programs come on TV, where you can do a puzzle on the kitchen table, or spend 5 or 10 minutes knitting, or whatever project it is that you're working on. Maybe for you, it's trying a new recipe or doing something creative. We all have 5 minutes if we look at where we spend our time and what our priorities are. So think about it for this week. Find yourself those 5 minutes and let me know how it goes. Where did you take your 5 minutes from? How did you find your 5 minutes? And what did you do with your 5 minutes? And who knows, maybe in a few weeks that 5 minutes will become 10 and then 20. And before you know it, you'll be investing an hour every day in your own personal health, well-being, and self-care. And you'll have time to start to enjoy some of the things that you thought you didn't have time for. We all have the same 24 hours. It's what we choose to do with it that makes it look different. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will chat with you next week. Bye for now.